"I slide you a little drink, but you too little," little man said to me. She, who wants to be called he, is number 5 of the Diamond Needles. "How young are you anyway?" she asked me. "I'm 10, but I'll be 11 in 54 days, I told her. "I started drinking when I was 6, she confessed to me, as she held her paper cup filled with church punch laced with Everclear. According to Riot, the priest laced the punch and only served it to selected older girls in his following. He called it a cup of mercy. After trying to meet with Angel Johnson, a.k.a. Lil Man, several times without succeeding, I had to ask Riot what's up with her. Riot said, "Lil Man is a highwayman." That meant she was part of a small team of girls who get to go outside of the prison walls with guards with guns to clean up the highways and streets surrounding the prison. Riot also told me that only the girls with the top grades in their classes and 0 violent write-ups could even compete for the position. After I heard that, I had to laugh. A competition to go clean up trash. "Lil' Man got a thing for cars," Riot told me. "She's practically a mechanic. She can put them together and take them apart. She loves working the highway detail because she gets to check out everything on wheels." I knew Lil' Man didn't really get to check them out, press her face against the windows and stare at the interior, open the doors and recline in the plush piped-out leather seats or pop the hood and examine the engine. She simply got to stand and watch the whips speed by. "You're only going to be able to catch up with Lil' Man at the prison chapel on Sundays," Riot said. "I don't even know where the prison chapel is at," I told Riot. "You should find out where everything in the prison is at, even if you're not interested in it," Riot corrected me as we jogged around the prison yard just to do something different. "Porsche, look at every place and every person as a potential opportunity. Never be narrow. Keep your eyes and your mind open," Riot said, her face covered with the moisture from the spring warmth. Now me and Lil' Man were seated in the chapel, a dreary place, not too different than any other prison place, except the benches weren't cemented to the floors. More girls were arriving, looking a little more happy and a little less hateful than the average look stamped on faces of the caught and caged. As I peeped, a few girls were gathered in couples, interlocking fingers, sitting close up on one another. I caught on swift. The chapel was a meetup spot. "You see, the church is open to all prisoners," Lil' Man said to me. "That's why I like it here. Every prisoner has the right to join the church." That sounded strange to me, the right. Going to church was the only thing I heard of that we have the right to do. A man with pink skin, wearing a long black dress, entered the chapel. I tried not to stare at him. I didn't like to judge people by color, but his skin was scary looking. He was human, with skin the color and texture of a mouse or rat. "Get up, Santiaga. It's Father John," the little man said in a commanding whisper. "He's not my father," I mumbled, but I got up anyway. Not for him, but for number 5 of the Diamond Needles. He was saying some shit. Girls was closing their eyes, not me. I was looking at all of them. 2 girls on the bench next to me were touching each other up. When I saw her hand rubbing the other girl's breast through the jumper cloth, I felt something. I don't know what. Testify and witness were 2 words I didn't like. I was hearing them both today, even though I was in the chapel and not the courtroom, where I had heard those 2 words the most. Angel, a.k.a. Lil' Man, was in the front of the room now, talking about Jesus, revenge, and forgiveness. The whole thing sounded like some confusing bullshit to me. The stuff in the room looked confusing too. Some statues were cemented and stuck to the walls. Others were nailed into the counters just in case one of us violent girls broke full and grabbed one of the statues and used it to knock somebody the fuck out. I looked at Angel. She's very light-skinned, like my papa. Her hair was cut into a Caesar, like a dude. Not a short, pretty girl style, like Lena or Rosemarie. As I looked at her straight on, I noticed stuff that I didn't see when we were sitting or standing side by side. She was petite, but her personality made her seem tall and strong. Now, I could see she was small. She was small and rough. She was using her hands to explain something up there, but the same as like how Brooklyn dudes talk with their hands to one another while working the corner. Her face looked like it used to look pretty, and maybe it still did, but she held her mouth like a boy and her eyes were not like girl-feeling eyes. Even her fingers were managed. She didn't put her hands on her hips or twist her little body like we girls did. Her stance was solid and determined. Her legs locked and even, not relaxed or bent or capable of flowing into a hot-ass dance step. Porsche, that's a badass name, little man said to me afterwards. Thanks, I replied, handing her my tribute candy packet. It's not Portia or nothing like that, she asked me. Nope, it's Porsche, the name of the luxury vehicle. Little man smiled. Hell yeah. Did your moms push a Porsche? She asked me as though she was imagining. No, my father pushed it. Mama rode beside him and made it look even sweeter than it already was. I laughed a little now. I was remembering. I heard you like cars. What did your pops push? I asked the little man, knowing that all of the diamond needles come from families that had money, land, and power. Her eyebrows connected. Her jaw dropped. Her half smile evaporated. My pops is pushing up daisies and dirt. He's 6 feet under where I put him. Angel, a.k.a. Little Man, wasn't born because of love. Her mother was violently raped by a stranger. Little Man was the result.